Vanadium Resources is a exploration company that turned into a development company. It started off as a company that explored for vanadium in the Bushveld complex, that very famous mineral endowment in South Africa, where a number of other mines are in existence and have been mined for vanadium. So we started to explore and then made a discovery around 2010-11, significant discovery, and that was then developed up till now. We are now at the stage where we're conducting feasibility studies over what we've discovered, and we are intending to build a mine from what we've discovered. We've gone through a number of steps already in getting there. So we, besides getting to a resource, which is the first step, of course, then we also did some feasibility studies on it. We started off with a scoping study and then did a pre-feasibility study. And now we're busy with a definitive feasibility study. And these studies are just an escalating, in an escalating way, giving more confidence on the financial viability of the project. Now the DFS, that's the definitive feasibility, that's the ultimate one. We expect to finish that in September. And what do we expect? We have already seen from the pre-feasibility study, or the so-called PFS that we brought out last year in June, what the possible numbers can be for this mine. And we do not expect that to deviate meaningfully for a number of reasons. This project here is not one where there hasn't been any other examples of it in the same geological environment. There's been many other mines that have done exactly the same as we do. So we know what kind of recoveries we can get. We know what process to use. We know what the economics could be, and we have all the expertise in the country that can assist us in fulfilling these studies. So what can we expect? We can expect, based on the PFS results, we can expect to see a $1.2 billion NPV, net present value, post-tax, and we can expect to see a free cash flow of $147 million per annum. And we can expect to see about a 24-month, 2-year payback on a capital amount that's about $200 million. Now, what does the $200 million mean? The $200 million means that that's just a number to anybody, but to us, we can only compare ourselves to what other aspirant producers would like to see. And we are about, in some instances, a third of the costs of other aspirant producers producing the same amount of vanadium pentoxide that we would produce. So that number is very important, because that makes us a bit more financeable. It's much more difficult to try and fund a $600 million operation producing 12,000 tons of vanadium pentoxide than a $200 million operation producing the same amount of metal. And then the last factor which differentiates us, or which makes us special, I would say, to a very large extent, is the fact that the PFS had showed that our cost of production per pound of vanadium pentoxide is about $3.08. Okay, what does that mean? It's just another number for your viewers, but for us it means that if you compare it to the price of vanadium, which is currently $9.60, it means that we've got a lot of headspace in getting to a profit. Now, some of our competitors do not have that benefit. They are around $6 or $5 or $4. And why is that important to have a low number? And everybody that's in business would know is that if you can produce at a very low cost curve and your pricing starts to change to the worst, then your chances of surviving the bad sides of the markets are very good. And that means that you will not make a loss and therefore become a loss to your shareholders. So that's the short and the long of Vanadium Resources. And what we want to achieve very shortly is we want to raise that $200 million after we've completed the feasibility study, the DFS successfully, and conclude offtake agreements so that people actually buy our product, and then start constructing the mine. Well, we only have this project. We're a single project company. The project's name is Teil Drift, and it's in the Eastern Bushveld Complex. That's one of the limbs of the Bushveld Complex that was very productive in the past, has been for over 100 years. And just in our area alone, there are 32 mines. What does it mean to have one project? It means that we are focusing only on that project and getting it into production. It's no longer a case of having multiple vanadium projects. We only have one, which is a very big one, and that's enough to handle.